So you can't afford professional animators, obviously, because I'm not a cool dude YouTuber. But this is the kind of principle you want with your cold smokers. So what you want is box, probably shelf, little door, like, I don't know, here-ish. Let's say this is a side view. Let's just do that, right? So you've got a little door here, and that's where I can put in my little cold smoke thing, which is just like a little wire mesh that you put all your wood bits in, around a little tea light. That can go in there like that and sit there. All my food goes in here. It's really detailed food. I'm going to make this one apple, not that an apples would go in it. Well, actually, maybe they would, but fuck it, I don't know. Cheese and stuff like that. Cool. The smoke thing's going to go probably about here-ish. And then ideally, I need a vent at the bottom, which would be kind of this door thing as well. I'll leave it flapped open a little bit so the air can get in. And then what I really want is like to be a little vent over here. So again, I'll just make a little flap in the top of the box. That means the smoke can kind of come all the way across everything and then go out rather than just going like, if I had one there, going straight up there, not getting on any of this stuff. So the draft is going to make it work all the way through, which is cool. You also probably want to either make yourself a big door like here or whatever, or just have the top of the box able to open up. Look at this amazingly scientific diagram, this is so good. Then that'll let you get in to obviously put your food on the actual shelves, rather than just, I don't know, maybe to try and fit it in this bottom hole with a long arm or a set of tongs or something. I don't know, just put it in through the top, it's easier. Cool, and that's it. I've made one. I'll show you it. This is it. So what be? There we go. So you see my little vent there? Cool. Lid. I've actually put my smoking chips in there, cool. Grill tray, just took it out of my oven, piece of piss. And then there is, like I discussed, just a little flap on here for me to put the actual cold smoking thing in, and also to use as a little air vent. And that's it. It probably cost me, realistically, about £1, maybe? And tape and Mycopunk stickers. Obviously that cost me about 20p in printing, so I don't know, quality. So the first thing to do is fill up your little smoke generator with some wood dust. I'm going to use this cherry wood dust that I got from a local company called ProQ, which is really nice. I like the fact that it's a local company more like anything else. I resent the fact I'm paying for wood dust, but then I don't have a machine that can make wood dust for itself. So that's what I'm going to do. This is what it looks like, just little bits of wood dust. This thing was like £6 on AliExpress. You can buy them over here, but everyone tends to charge a reasonable markup for them, and I couldn't be bothered paying any more because it is just a bit of metal, really, like a big pipe gauze or something. So yeah, that's what I'm using. I should be doing this outside as well, but for the sake of the video, I ain't going to bother, so I'm just going to tip all this in. Oh, I'm going to have to clean this up something chronic. I'm going to wind me right up. This usually tends to give me about 3 hours worth of smoke, which is pretty much, coincidentally, the right time that I want to smoke the foods for. I like to smoke the butter for a little bit less most of the time, but it's less a function of time as it is a function of the time and the smoke, I suppose. So like by the time this burns out, that'll be what I want. I'm just trying to kind of show that all this cold smoking stuff, even hot smoking stuff, doesn't have to be crazy expensive. And this is like a madly cheap way to like really improve the quality of your butter and your cheese and other bits like that. So I'm going to just make sure this is all in fairly evenly as I can be bothered. We're going to scrape the rest of it off the counter and throw that in because it's free. Cool. And then you want to give it a little tamp down just to make sure that it doesn't go too quickly. Just even this out a little bit as well. Got a cold coming on, man. So very nasal today. Let's give this a gentle tamp down. Not going crazy shoving it all down, but being reasonably firm. So what I'm going to smoke is just some stuff that I picked up in the supermarket. Nothing madly fancy. Got a bit of Davidstow 12 months matured, should be right. Got some butter that was on offer. There you go, it's better in angle. I would do my own butter that I made the other day, but I'm eating it, so I can't do that. More butter. I'm going to do some mozzarella balls just because they're kind of cool. A bit more cream cheese. Right, will be good. Cool. Ta-da! And again, just some cheapest cheddar. A couple of bits of garlic as well. All you've got to do, the box is literally just there. You can't see it. It's there. It's huge. Yeah. Box. That's the smoker that we made. So I'm just going to throw this in there on the trays, and I'll show you it when it's done. Please. You can kind of smoke probably anything, really. Not anything really. But the most important bit is that it's got like a reasonably high fat content to it, because that's what seems to absorb a lot of the smoke. And I'm going to cut this. I want it to be, if I go, I'm just going to cut this one in half, I think, because the smoke's not going to be able to penetrate all the way through, so it's going to like mostly get on the surface. And then after we've smoked it for a few hours, then you wrap it in, well, anything you want really. I'm going to wrap it in a bit of cling film, I think, and then put it into another Ziploc bag and put it in my fridge. So yeah, if you leave it for like a day or so, then what happens is the flavour from the outside starts to kind of get into the inside a bit more. So, and also it kind of mellows out a little bit as well. When you first take it off, it can be not harsh, but it's definitely quite pronounced. And then if you leave it like even for a week, the flavour like really, really smooths out and it gets pretty fantastic. So I'm just going to go like lumps like that. A few inches, 10 inches. Hi, that was a man joke. I made a man joke. Check me out. Oh, cool. Butter. Just going to throw the butter in as it is. The best thing about cold smoking is that you can do stuff like this. This is the heat source in there. This isn't going to generate any appreciable heat at all. I wouldn't think. And I've not done it because I've only started doing this winter, but I wouldn't really think that it's going to work particularly well if I try and do it in the summer, because the outdoor temperature is going to be hot enough to probably start melting the butter and certainly the cream cheese. So this time of year where the temperatures are pretty low, it works out really well. You are going to want to put a temperature probe into the box, so if you've got a little wired one, I'm just using this. I mean, it was cheap as hell on Amazon, this will do. You can whack that in and monitor the temp as you go along. I mean, out there today, it looks like it's about 5 degrees-ish. Anyway, it's pretty cold, so that's going to be just about right. I suppose the only thing that could go wrong really is if you did it on a really hot summer's day, the extra little tiny bit of heat generated by this may knock it up just enough, or it might even be enough to just start melting the butter. At that point, it's all going to run down through the grills. Same with the cream cheese. This is going to be pretty horrible. So you want to avoid that like the plague. And with the cream cheese, what I've been doing is been real fussy about opening it like this. It always rips the 4 lids otherwise. This is just like the Aldi cheapest possible one I could find. Dribbling it over the top. I'm trying to keep the lid a bit intact, because what I'm going to do when I've actually taken this off, there's a bit of liquid on that, I'll just bin that off. What I'm going to do when I take it all off is I'm going to put it back into this packaging, because it's just a really convenient way to store it. I'm also going to pat it dry just slightly, because I don't want liquid on there, or as little liquid as possible. And it is can be a bit of a twat to get out this. Oh yeah, this one is going to be excellent. So I'm using my omnipresent burger flipper. Best thing I've ever bought, this burger flipper, I'll tell you what. I'm going to try and just get under it and see if I can get it out in as close to the shape it was in as I possibly can. Just by jibbing it about a bit. Here you go, that's not bad. Just sit that on that for a second. Give it a real gentle pat, just to take off any of the surface moisture. Cool. And then with a bit of luck, bingo bango, let's get straight in the smoker. I scrapped my cardboard box from my last one, possibly. The upsides of using this silly cardboard box with a cold smoking are pretty high to my mind, because the price is virtually nothing. You just take the grill out of your oven, cut the box a bit to fit it in, and then that's kind of all you got to do. But the downside, obviously, is we live in England. Or not all of you live in England, possibly, but all the people so far that have seen the video live in England. And it rains a hell of a lot. It's rained a lot at the start of this year. And that means, sadly, that you won't be able to use one of these cardboard boxes that well. Oh, made a real... I'll show that. So I just went to open the mozzarella balls, and one of them was completely fucked already. It was broken into loads of different little pieces. So I've wrapped it in a bit of cling film and just twisted it up real tight like I did with the butter, basically. And I've kind of made it into a bit of a ball again, but obviously if that one doesn't actually work out, it's not because of what I'm doing, it's because it came out of the bag fucked, honestly. So I'm just going to cut the rest of the cheese up quick. Putting gloves on my wet hands here so I could touch it. The main things that really matter then are like fat content. Don't go buying reduced fat stuff because it just won't work as well. And I think in general that's kind of mostly true for a lot of things. If you're going to have a nice meal, have a nice meal. You don't need 20 nice meals. You need one nice meal. So you might as well have that meal being the best possible meal that it is and putting in the right ingredients like your sugars and your fats and everything. And then just not eat it every single day. Just have it when you need it. All right, cool. So that's mozzarella ball. So this one's the good one. This one looks all right. Yeah, cool. Like that'd be lovely in there. Should be bloody handsome. Cool. So you can see that everything's in the smoker. It's pretty chill out here. There's a little slot in the bottom. That'll fit my little smoking thing in, my smoke generator. There's my grill tray. That's the lid that kind of loosely goes on. And I've got a little vent here if I need to vent it anymore. Easy and cheap. Just put the lid on. Make sure the vent's open. I know I've got a vent and there's holes all over the box obviously, but what you want is that smoke flowing through anyway, so it's not going to cause a real problem. And then I'll just jam my probe in there. And so there we go. This obviously is less of a problem if you've got a big metal smoker. But it still seems to be working, so fuck it, just let it roll, see what happens, isn't it? So hilariously, it's like rained all day. The box is still staying in one piece, which is pretty cool. The lid died pretty much to death. So we're looking there. It's looking pretty nice though. You can see all the cold bits, the butter and the cream cheese is all still pretty much in one piece. I had to take the lid off a bit there because it was just flopping down because it was so wet. I cut another vent in there as well just to try and give it a little bit more airflow. I think maybe the damp air has actually maybe started getting into the wood a little bit as it's cooking because it's taken quite a while. But either way, so there we go. Okay, cool. So, funnily enough, it has absolutely pissed it down all day. I'll show you some pictures of it in a bit if I can get any off the camera with this. But it's taken a bit longer because of the moisture in the air making the wood a bit slower. But I have actually got there, and it is all smoke. The box, the poor old box, is absolutely fucking destroyed. I guess the point is, it's a cheap thing. It's a £1 for a box, isn't it? So, fuck it, it doesn't really matter that much. If I'd have done it again in my big metal smoker, it wouldn't have been a problem at all. Nothing would have mattered. But that's not the case. That's not what I've done. So, hey ho. Dab, because it's raining so much. Cool. Right. All good. You can see the cream cheese is still alright. Come apart a little bit. I'll just put that back together in a tub. The mozzarella's alright. Even the ropey ones kind of stayed together a little bit, which is cool. So I'm going to package them up. Bit of cling film thing. What you want to do with the cream cheese, remember we kept the tub through it earlier on. So I'm literally just going to scrape it off the bars and put it back into the tub as best as I can anyway, because this is going to be a bit of a faff, possibly. No, this looks bad. Right. Cool. Just get it a little smooth, get it back in there, put the lid back on. So we can use this one. This cheese first. The burger scraper is honestly one of the best implements in the world, isn't it? It's just fucking amazing. What do we do with that then? There. The smell of it's good, man, as well. This cherry is fantastic. And just clean from the rest. What you got to do really is leave it. Like if you leave it for a week, if you can, it's really, really good because the flavours and the flavour of the smoke gets through all the inside, or starts to penetrate more into the inside of the cheese, and it mellows out a little bit. But if you can't wait that long, it's fine. Just eat it whenever. Oh, rubbish bit of drink over here. Lovely. The only, I suppose, sort of, not downside, but if you're going to bother firing it up and spending all the money on the wood, you kind of need to do. I mean, the wood's only a £5 bag, don't get me wrong, but still, you're using money and time and resource. What you really want to do is make sure you do a fair bit at once. So again, like making the butter and stuff like that, give it out as a gift or something. It's really cool. But this all kind of, the cold smoking stuff started because my partner is really into plus butter, actually. Excellent. My partner's really into applewood, or was really into applewood to make cheese. And then I started looking into it because there was like a shortage last year or something and we couldn't find it anyway at Christmas. And then I learned that it's not actually smoked cheese, it's smoked flavour cheese. So what they do is coat it with like a fake smoke flavour, and then they put on some paprika to give it a funky looking colour. And I just thought that was a bit disingenuous. I mean, I should have looked into it more myself beforehand, I suppose, but it kind of struck me as really fake. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it tastes okay. Just don't like it when people bamboozle me and like that, and I found it quite irritating. So I said to her, look, we can't find it, no problem. What I'll do then, just make some. Because I've got a smoker from ProQ already. And then I looked into how I would do it and then found out it was pretty much as easy as this. So that was it. Yeah, smoked butter. The garlic, that cold smoke there as well, which is lovely. It smells amazing. It smells really good. So it's going to go really nice. Again, in like, I don't know, chilies, bolognese, stuff like that. And it's just like an extra little level of flavour. Like imagine that in, I don't know, like a chili with a load of beef rib and stuff like that. And it's just going to be phenomenal. So yeah, well, I'm going to go and carry on packaging all this up. But that's about that really. Whack it in these, stick them into like a Ziploc bag so all the flavour, all the aromas doesn't start going all the way through your fridge, and then that's about it. Cool. In a bit. Do you know what? I left this outside for like 2 days in the rain, and I actually think I could probably use it again. I cut the side out so I could quickly get the grill out when it was raining so hard, and only part of my wood burnt, but it still tastes really smoky, so that's really cool. I don't know, might actually give it another go. Who fucking knows?